Yo, I'm Sage. I'm a photographer, director, and storyteller from South London. Growing up in South and originally East has shaped me as an artist and a person in so many different ways. It's taught me a crazy level of independence, and it's heightened the confidence I have in my art and myself. I think moving schools, moving areas at such an early age, you have to understand how to walk within your own right with confidence. And I've taken that same level of confidence within my art and each and every step I take with everything I do. I think it's given me two different sets of lived experiences and perspectives that has informed a lot of the artwork that I create. If you take my Made in the Manor series, for example, I've iconified London moments and shot them in such normal ways, but elevated that experience. And a lot of these stories I shoot are things that I've seen growing up in both East and South. It's given me so many perspectives and lived experiences that I'm able to put within my artwork. And I feel like it's given me the confidence to walk in my own right, even to shoot and believe in my art. I think you can't grow up in South without a backbone, do you know what I'm saying? So that's given me a lot of grit, do you know what I'm saying? I think the main thing that piqued my interest in photography, or just visuals as a whole, was watching Kanye's Genius documentary. Like, as soon as that came out, not only was it a source of creative inspiration, just in general, to be the best version of yourself and strive for whatever you want to do, but I think seeing Coodie's grit and relentlessness capturing Kanye, even when he had no reason to, with no guarantee that he was going to make it, it kind of inspired me to capture the undiscovered Kanyes within London. And I actually originally wanted to do videography and vlog different artists within London. Quickly found out that video editing is kind of long, and I really wanted to output a lot of my documentary work really quickly. I didn't want to rush, but I also did want to see the fruits of my labor faster than I could with video. So I just started doing photography. To begin with, I started shooting concept photography. So I just started going to some of my most favorite artists, like predominantly Nux, Unknown T, Skep. Started going to Boiler Room, Cyphers. And as I went on, each and every event that I shot became more intentional. And I quickly learned that I love to capture that raw energy within the moment. With each concert that I shot, I kind of became more intentional with each and every image and each and every still that I had. But I feel like one thing that I kind of learned was I loved capturing that raw energy within the moment, that aggression within the cypher, the flames, the pyrotechnics, the stage design, even the performance of the artist. Like, there's so many things you see an artist do that you take for granted in the moment and forget when you leave the concert that I had to just capture in a still frame that could just be timeless forever. And as I went on, I kind of learned how creative I was in a way, and started to learn that what was given to me on stage, I wanted to direct the image, which then led me to doing studio shoots and personal shoots. And as I started to do that, I think it kind of wasn't enough for my work to exist only digitally. And the most rewarding part of being an artist is probably being able to see your work physically in print or in some sort of physical manifestation of that work. Like being able to hold what you've done and capture that, go back to the memory of you capturing that experience, or painting it, or even sculpting it, whatever your medium is. I think that's one of the most rewarding parts. The first exhibition, it was actually made mostly, I think I did 13 pieces, and maybe 10 of it was all music. 3 were studio shoots, but I think I wanted to create a body of work that was an amalgamation of who I was as an artist within that previous year of shooting. I feel like there's so many different types of photographers, and I wanted to go down the route of exhibiting my work and creating intentional bodies of work instead of responding to what was given to me. My style of work has evolved from being really raw, gritty, and energetic to still keeping that same form within my music photography, but within my Made in the Manor series and my fashion shoots, it's almost, it sits at the intersection of documentary work and editorial work. For example, if you see my Made in the Manor series and my fashion work also, I'm still capturing you in an editorial way, but it feels like I'm capturing a lived experience. That's the best way I describe my work. My work's gone from simply documenting moments to building narratives. So yeah, I'd say that's how my work kind of developed over the years. The overall message with the Manor series was to honestly iconify people in their everyday rights. I feel like when I started it, it still is a series that draws inspiration from the early 2000s, but replaces the characters with modern day people. I feel like I've shot a body of work that is reminiscent of the past, but shot with a modern eye. And everything I do is an extension of who I am. And I feel like I'm on a mission of self-discovery as a person and as an artist as well. With shooting each and every character, I feel like there's so many lessons that I want people to understand within themselves and the emotions they feel within the images, to really ground themselves in the moment and understand who you are in those situations that I capture. So for example, whether the theme is love, whether it's friendship, whether it's family, whether it's loss, whether it's struggle, I want you to understand that you are who you are because you've gone through these experiences. So capturing them is so important to me, because years from now, when people do look back on these moments, not only do they understand how we lived in the 2020s, but people in the current day and years from now will understand a lot of these concepts, because they're perennial concepts, they're timeless. Just like the theme of love, the theme of friendship, whether it's shot in the 1900s or the 2000s, you'll always understand that. There's a lot of women that I pay homage to within my work that shaped my understanding of home. Most importantly, I'd say my mother and my two sisters, my aunties, cousins, and even all the women that I've met throughout my whole life in each and every in-between of every experience that I've had. And I feel like in the experiences that I've had growing up, and even now, today, tomorrow, and last week even, I feel like there's so many unspoken nuances that people take for granted, whether it's the love you feel from the women, even the unspoken protection you feel from them, the overprotectiveness, it's the warmth that you feel. And in a lot of the images, there are characters that are shot in isolation, but there's still warmth even in their eyes, if that makes sense. And with the themes of love that I've explored in my Love in Ruins piece and another unreleased piece that I'm actually gonna post soon, there's a warmth that I feel that I've always had growing up from the women that have shaped my understanding of home. And that's the same level of warmth I want to display when I'm shooting. I'm very selective with the models I pick as well, only because I feel like when I am shooting, there's a very intimate exchange that's going on, me capturing your likeness to tell my story, but also yours. I think I still have to maintain that same warmth with my family of models, if that makes sense. I feel like with each and every person that I've worked with for a personal shoot, our relationship has grown to such a deeper level. The inspiration behind Love in Ruins was my obsession with capturing love. I think it's a concept that I've always wanted to explore, and I thought, what better way to explore the concept of love than actually documenting and shooting the way I saw it growing up, from the relationships I saw in ends growing up, to my brother, to different family dynamics that I've seen with relationships and my friendships as well. I thought capturing such a beautiful concept in such a gritty and real way is probably the best way to display the concept of love. Love isn't perfect. It looks perfect on the outside, but there's always ups and downs and it's always rocky. But I think the most important thing is the journey you have with the person that you love, even if it's platonic. I think the Love in Ruins photo, it doesn't just show the type of love you have between two lovers. I think it shows the protection you have for someone that you care for. Capturing Dudley and Casey was such a real moment for me because one, they're from ends. Two, whenever I do shoot my Manor series, I always shoot them from the area that they're from. So the story is always so real. So even the abandoned car wash that I shot them in was actually like a minute walk away from where Guddy grew up. So that whole story was just always so real to me, and I just wanted to capture them in their own right. I feel like within my favorite image as well, I literally told him do what feels natural to you. And Casey immediately just hugged him. He looked at the camera with a bat. And I just thought, that's the perfect display of love. It's like your woman loving you and you protecting whatever's around you. So I just said, yeah. There's actually a Simon Wheatley photo where I think they're on like a pavement and there's so many subjects within the foreground and there's two lovers in the back against the fence kissing each other. And I think that was a main reference that I kind of wanted to shoot later on, but I really wanted to zoom in on that one moment within the image that I think a lot of people kind of neglect. I don't think I have a favorite. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I have so many favorites for so many different favorite reasons, but if I had to share a story on one of my funniest shoots, it'd probably be Concrete Nomad, the picture with Marmory against the abandoned swing in the back. That one, bro, absolute madness shooting. I'm not gonna lie to you. We had to climb over a block that was abandoned, but we had no way to climb over it. So we had to use like a plinth of cement, climb on it, and then we had to get Marmory to like climb over the fence. But my boy Matrix climbed over the fence first, and then we had to like, bro, it was a madness, not gonna lie. But even, it's actually so bad, bro. Even, I think my favorite image actually came from the last 20 minutes of the shoot. So even the 2 hours that we shot, a lot of the images were cool, but it didn't convey the feeling that I wanted people to feel. And I think it was such a sporadic moment that I felt like was destined for us to shoot. So yeah, that's probably my favorite story. The most recent Search for Self exhibition is inspired by me searching for myself, like to be quite literal with you. I think with my first exhibition, I really loved the direction I was going in, but I felt that with shooting music, there was gonna be a cap on my creativity. I think there's so many ways an artist can be captured on stage, and it's really limited. And I thought, with creating concepts for yourself, like I said, the art you create is an extension of yourself. And I really wanted to know who I was when I was creating the art. So I think a lot of the process within shooting Search for Self was actually describing what I was doing at the time while shooting the images. So even each and every shoot that I did, I always asked myself the questions that to really get down to the nitty-gritty of why I want to shoot these certain concepts. So a lot of my exhibition names describe the process that I'm going through while shooting the bodies of work. So with shooting a lot of the Manor and Manor images, the photography, the music photography, and the fashion photography, I think it was inspired by me knowing myself to a deeper level and informing the art with that information. So even down to the experiences that I want to capture. The reason why that is because growing up, I kind of feel like I didn't really take in a lot of my surroundings properly and ground my memories. And what's actually mad is I actually don't really have a lot of baby photos either. So I feel like the lived experiences that I now experience, I want to capture those through other people. So I'm kind of annoyed I ain't got no baby photos. So I feel like now, a lot of the things that I go through in life, I now want to experience that through other people, if that makes sense. But moving forward, the themes I'd like to capture are essentially the same that I've always been capturing, which are the lived universal experiences of human beings. I think I really want to take it to a deeper level though. I really mapped out the direction I want to go in this year and all the shoots I want to do, but I think I really want to capture the unspoken experiences and feelings we have as a generation that often goes unspoken. I think these emotions and conversations bring us together and we internally feel them as we look at each other, but I think we're too scared to actually have that conversation. And I want my work to also be a piece of conversation that actually inspires you to not only speak about it, but also reflect within yourself and why you're feeling that experience and what you're going through. 3 words to make it as a young photographer in London. I'd say 1, you definitely need a lot of patience, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, as a photographer, it's a very long journey, to be honest with you. I think 2, you definitely need hunger. And 3, faith. I'd say that's probably the most important thing. I think being a creative in general, there's a lot of ups and downs, and there's so many opportunities for you to doubt yourself. and for you to have excuses to not do anything. Even the fear of failure. I think a lot of people fear failing or fear becoming a new version of themselves because the current version that they're at feels so comfortable. But beyond that is what really gives you the gift of life, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I think even with this new collection I'm shooting and the amount of work I want to do this year and the new systems I've implemented into my artwork and just my model as a whole as an artist, I'm even still a bit fearful of what I want to do, but I know I have to do it because I feel like I've been given a responsibility to do something. Do you know what I'm saying? So if I could give my younger self advice, I'd tell him to do what I've always done, which is trust my instincts. 2, trust my vision. And 3, trust God. I think most importantly, not everything needs to be done at once, and comparison will always cloud your path. I think just stay tunnel vision, just do the work. The small 1% will always compound into something. I feel like people try to always do 20% as soon as possible. If you've only got 10% on the day, just give 10%. That's the best you can do, so just do that. If I could give my future self any advice, I think I'd tell him that God wouldn't put you in a position that you weren't capable of achieving. I think that's be the main thing, and just to follow your instinct. I feel like in each and everything that I've done, my instinct has always led me. I feel like a lot of my best moments have come sporadically. I think you can try to plan as much as possible, but a lot of the time in the creative game, bro, shit changes. You know what I'm saying? Trends drop week in, week out. There's always something new. Something always wanes, something always rises. So I think just keep adapting and stay hungry. Not gonna lie. Like, I don't want to see that nigga ever wake up and he's not getting to the money. He's not working, you know what I'm saying? Like, I promise you, he's got to keep his head straight, bro. But I think he needs to find a balance, though. I think with this recent exhibition, I went a bit ham, but it needed to be done. I think I kind of give myself no room for excuses at all. Like, if I want to rest at some point and this amount needs to be done, I'll always do the full amount before I rest. And I think it's needed at some points, but I think there's a fine balance between overworking and burning out. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think finding that balance. And to any artist that want to throw an exhibition, I think I'd tell them to just believe in themselves. I think the most important thing is to just take a step, and done is always better than perfect. I think when I first started out, my brethren summer matrix, I'd always tell them I can't throw an exhibition because I wanted it to be perfect. I always wanted it to be some huge exhibition in some big gallery, but that's really not how it starts. You always have to start from somewhere, and however that is, just do it. You will learn and you will live, and the next one you do, you will bring those lessons that you got from the first one and take that into the second one. Even if it's a small venue, 50 cap, even if you don't think your art is ready for where it's at, just exhibit, bro. Honestly, just take the step. Creating a space for people that are into art and fashion just doesn't feel real. I'm not gonna lie, to successfully do it and actually build a community that supports me and support themselves as well, I think the word is surreal. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think every day I wake up and I still don't believe that we've built a space, we've built a home. I feel like even at the exhibitions, there's an energy in the room that you just can't describe, that I feel like people unknowingly feel, and it's just beautiful to see. Like, I'm super grateful to see everybody come together, because hey, I'm not gonna lie, stepping out your crib, just actually come together and connect and see art is actually a very undervalued experience that I feel like a lot of people would take for granted, and seeing everyone come together is so beautiful. In fact, let me shout out my brothers as well, Slum and Matrix. I'm not gonna lie, exhibitions without them wouldn't be possible. I'm not gonna lie, like Slum's leadership and his strategy when it comes to the exhibition, bro, top done. Like, the stuff he comes up with, the way he like structures so many different elements combined with my creativity and art direction is so mad. And in Matrix, having him on the ground right next to me, working with him, dream team, bro, honestly. 4 things I can't live without: Probably my family first. I'm gonna count family and friends as one. No, in fact, scrap them. I'm counting God first, do you know what I'm saying? Family and friends second. 3, my camera. And 4, my whiteboard. You see, the ideas I'm plotting, I do on that whiteboard, it's crazy. It's even turned black. The amount of ink that's written on that whiteboard, bro, it's crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, those are probably the 4 things. 4 of my favorite images right now, because they always do change, are 1, my Big Smoke Festival Skepta piece. I think shooting that was actually a mad story in itself. I actually didn't even go to the festival with a camera, and I managed to get a shot in the end of Skep, and then give him the piece a couple months later on, which was mad. My second favorite piece, it's tough. Probably my Sister's Keeper, because that piece is very personal to me, inspired by my sisters. 3, Sovereign Flower. That was probably, actually it was my first ever studio shoot. It was a very hectic day, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think shooting that image from that day would turn into such an iconic image today. And I think a lot of people really love that piece. And when I was shooting it, I didn't even know what was actually gonna become of it. And I actually gave the piece to Gabriel Moses as well, which was kind of mad. So I think that's definitely my 3rd favorite. 4th, probably Love and Ruins, has to be, bro. That's probably like a fan favorite of a lot of people as well, alongside the other 3. But I think there's something about the Love and Ruins piece that a lot of people really resonate with. So yeah, 4 lessons that I've learned on my journey. The first, like I said, is done is always better than perfect. Like, don't be a perfectionist, especially as a creative. People always want it to look a certain way, but I promise you, it'll always go down better than you think it will. 2, I think I've learned to have confidence in my creative voice and vision. I think it's very easy in an age where you hear so many voices socially to doubt yours against so many bigger powers, if that makes sense. There's so many creators that are in bigger places, but I think you also have to understand that you are where you are for a reason. So yeah, I think my 3rd lesson is there's nobody better to work with than people you love. That's the best thing I'd say. I think don't try to work with someone just because you think it would really benefit you in whatever way, whether it's monetary, whether it's socially. I think there's a level of chemistry, the memories you have with shooting and working with the people that you love, whether it's your brothers, whether it's your sisters, whether it's your family or friends. I think there's so much energy that goes into shooting with people that you actually fuck with. So yeah. 4th, honestly, bro, I'll be honest, patience. Like, this game is a very long game. It's a game of waiting, I'd say. I think you have to be very precise in what you do. You have to be very technical and meticulous. Although you have to still sometimes just get shit done on the fly, you still have to be very methodical in everything you do. I don't think I can really make a solid move without thinking very deeply. I think it's one of my weaknesses, but it's one of my strengths also. I think don't overthink too much, but definitely put a structure in place. I think a structure will always help, but don't try to overbuild a structure now. I'll be honest. If you try to overbuild a structure, it's balanced, yo. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a wrap. And I've been Sage for the community.